You're listening to Erica Latrice on the air. Your one-stop shop for inspiration. Visit us online at www.ericalatrice.com. Embody the movement, empower your life. Now, here is your host, Erica.
Hey there, I am Erica Latrice, and I'm so excited, per usual, to kick off today's show. I hope that it is something that encourages you, inspires you, and helps you to step out bigger than you ever thought. So today is going to be a two-part show, so make sure you tune in tomorrow for the second half of the keys. Today we are kicking it off with the power of having a clear vision, why it matters that you have a clear vision, and some practical steps that you can take to start seeing that vision take place. So as I said, today will be a two-part show. Definitely tune in for tomorrow to make sure that you stay encouraged. I'm so committed to this because I know that there is so much power with starting your day off from a place of inspiration, from a place of encouragement, from a place of practical steps. So it's not about just getting hyped up, but really taking steps, taking action steps. Faith without works is dead. So really lining up those actions with the things that you desire to see take place. And I know for certain that it comes from consistency. And so that's why I'm consistently bringing you messages every morning. So today I'm going to share with you 4 clear steps that you can take when it comes to having a clear vision. And really what it really comes down to is taking that action. And so the first thing that I would remind you of today, these are all reminders because I'm certain these are things that you are aware of, but maybe you just need a reminder so that you can start taking action in these areas. And the first thing is ask. Ask. Example that I would use, I had a client that is, her expertise was in the area of sales, and a lot of the work that she does or did at that time was cold calling. If you're not familiar with sales, if you've never done cold calling, let me tell you, it is one of the most taxing forms of sales because you're literally oftentimes going through like the equivalent of just going through like a phone book or going down a list of people who are not aware of who you are, never heard of you, and you're just calling them. And she talked about a time where she made about 100 calls, and it wasn't until she had gotten to the 100th call that she finally got a yes. Now, I've done cold calling, warm calling, inbound sales, outside, outbound call, customer service, you name it, in the area of sales. But the thing that I want to drive home to you is that you have to be willing to ask, and you can't get so determined to have like a yes. You can't get so determined or even afraid of no's that you're not willing to ask, because if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So what I want you to think about is those areas in your life where maybe it's beyond you. It's something beyond yourself. Maybe you need support. Maybe you do need to cold call. Maybe you need friends or family members to get on board with your vision. No matter what it is, I'm telling you today, I'm reminding you when it comes to having a clear vision, you cannot be afraid to ask. I don't know what you need. I know I have been the queen of my life, in my life, the queen of not asking. I cannot tell you how many times I have found myself saying, oh, I just hate asking for stuff. I hate asking for stuff. And I will never forget working with a coach in the past, and she broke it down in a way that I never thought about before. But she said typically people who have fear around asking, or maybe even it's not a fear. Maybe you're like me where it's pride, though. It's some type of like pride, or I don't need anyone else, or I don't want to inconvenience other people, whatever the reason may be. But you're literally blocking your own blessing. It's almost like the person that can't take a compliment. And I've been there before too. Like when people say something nice to you and your immediate response is to like curve it. They say, oh, you look great today. Well, I'm still trying to lose weight. Like you find a way to basically block your blessing. And if you're not willing to ask, if you're not willing to step out of your comfort zone and get the help that you need, get the support that you need, get the team on board, get the whatever it may be that you should be asking for the promotion, being assertive about what you deserve on your job, asking for the funding for your business, asking for the sponsorship for your event, asking again for other hands on deck to execute whatever your vision is, you will stay stuck because you're literally standing in the way of your blessing. No one can help you if you're not willing to ask. Simple. The second thing that I want to remind you of, and this is kind of along the same lines, but it's something that we all have to remember because it's something that I'm pretty sure we've all experienced at some time, and that's making mistakes. And when I heard this for the first time, and I can't even remember where I heard it from, but it's something that has stuck with me so long. It's not an original Erica quote. but it's basically that your mistakes are simply feedback. Your mistakes are feedback. And this is something that I know I can relate to, but I've seen it time and time again where I'll be working with someone, they'll have this incredible idea, and they'll go out and they'll, share it with the first person, or they'll actually attempt it and it doesn't work, and they just like decide that was a sign for them to quit. And what I've learned is that our mistakes are literally feedback. And especially if you're working in the areas of like marketing, which I usually like relate everything back to marketing, but mistakes are literally just showing you what to do next time. If you find that you're making a lot of mistakes, or if you find that a door closed, or if you find that something didn't work out exactly how you expected it, it's feedback. It's literally just feedback. It's showing you what to do differently next time. There have been times, like back to the whole, I'll use the analogy of marketing, where you're trying to get everyone to know about your whatever's coming up, your new business is launching, or, you have something coming up. And maybe the first time you put it out there, no one responded. Cricket. No tickets sold. No service sold. No product sold. No one supports your vision, right? And if you take that as just like it's a sign of failure, your mistakes are not failure. If you take it as failure, you're going to stop. If you take it as feedback, you're going to adjust, and you're going to keep going until you hit the goal. And this is something that I feel like we all need to be reminded of a daily basis, on a daily basis, because when you take your mistakes as a sign to quit, you're never going to get the privilege of seeing your visions come to pass. And I have a message that really resonated with me. It was actually my sister sharing it, because I was having a moment and I was talking to her about trying to understand when that failure, is it a sign to flee or is it a sign to fight? And when we're talking about having a clear vision, her response is something that I would encourage you guys to write down this and think about it. Her response to me that day was, you cannot quit. It is time for you to fight when your vision hasn't come to full fruition. When you have not seen the entirety of that vision take place, then that is obviously the sign that you need to keep going. Because when you have a clear vision, when you know what it is that you're working towards, when you've written that goal down, when you've had that, and I truly feel if you've been seeking God to know what the vision is for your life, to understand your purpose, then you are already on the right path. So you cannot allow any type of mistake or any kind of resistance or a closed door to make you just throw in the towel. Because if you haven't seen the full vision take place, that's literally just a sign for you to keep pressing. It's a sign for you to push. It's a sign for you to fight. It is not a sign for you to take that mistake or take that setback as failure. It's literally feedback. So that is a second reminder that I have for you today, just to recap. Number one, ask. Don't be afraid to ask for the help that you need, to seek it out, to, get whatever it is that you need, because the answer is always no until you ask. The second reminder that I have for you guys today is that your mistakes are simply feedback. So instead of looking at what didn't go right and why it's a reason to quit, I would encourage you to look at what didn't go right and what you can do the next time around to make it better. And that's just basically self-auditing. And the third thing that I would encourage you to do is to offer your value. Offer your value. When we're talking about having clarity around your vision and knowing what it is that you bring to the table, you should never hesitate to bring value. You should never hesitate to offer your value, your gift, and give it to as many people as possible and get it in the face of as many people as those that need it. I don't care if it's cooking, if it's filming, if it's administrative work, whatever you are gifted to do, your goal should never be to hoard it and keep it to yourself. Now, this is something that I see quite a bit. As you can tell, most of what I talk about, I see so much because I work with a lot of people who are visionaries, people who are stepping out of the box and doing things that aren't necessarily comfortable. But one thing that I find is that I've heard this more times than I can even count, where people say, well, if I just help one person, if I can just help that one person. And listen, when you are, especially if you're an entrepreneur or when you're someone stepping out of the box, when you're someone who's not content with the status quo, if your goal is to just meet one person, I would encourage you to just quit, because it is not for the faint of heart. Being an entrepreneur, being a visionary, stepping out of the box, doing something uncomfortable, doing more than what the average person is willing to do is taxing. And if you're sitting here saying, well, oh, if I just help that one person. Now, if you do everything you can and only one person gets help, then hey, just keep pushing. But if your only intention is to help one little person, if you're saying it from the standpoint of, when I usually hear this, it's from the standpoint of a cop-out. Like, well, I'm not going to put all my effort out because, if I just help one person, how dare you? If you know that you have something that is amazing, if you know that you have something that you're bringing to the table that can truly change lives, that can help people, that can bring them something in a way they've never had it before, that you design work and your designs bring your clients to tears. If you were able to go up to the position of manager, employees at your job would be stress-free and be able to spend more time with their families. If you were the person delivering food, people's health would change because you take care of every customer in a way that no one else is doing it. And if you discount that and you limit it to one person, I'm telling you, it is not even worth your time to say, well, if I just help one person. Because when you have been called to a vision, when you have a clear vision, I can guarantee you down the line, it is meant to help far beyond who you are. It's meant to help far more people than yourself. And so don't hesitate to give your value. Do not hesitate to look for ways to get your idea, to get your vision, to get your mission in front of as many people as possible. Because when you have been called to something incredible, and I know that because you would not be listening to this if you weren't, it is your duty to get it out to the people that need it the most. And so I can so relate to this. I can so relate to everything that I've talked to you about today, because when we have a clear vision, these are three things that can typically block us. And just to recap, number one, asking. It's so tempting to say, especially if you are someone who's bold, you're a leader, you don't like asking for things, but that is the easiest way that you can start blocking your blessing, by being, whatever the reason is, too afraid, too prideful, too anything, to ask for the proper support. Secondly, understand that your mistakes are just your feedback, and the biggest block that you can have is if you look at your mistakes as a sign of failure, because when you see your mistakes as failure, you're not going to push past them. And finally, never hesitate to offer your value. You have been called to something so much greater than yourself. And again, I know that because you're someone who's actually investing in yourself at this very moment by listening to something to encourage you today. So don't hesitate to offer your value. Don't discount, don't minimize what it is that you bring to the table, because you never know the impact that you're going to make when you step out boldly. So that is my message for you guys today. That is part one on being clear of the vision and removing those blocks. Make sure that you tune in to the next episode, because I'll be sharing with you the other three things that you can do when it comes to having a clear vision and taking action on a daily basis. You can stay connected with me across social media at Erica Empowers. If this message encouraged you, make sure that you share it with a friend. And as I always tell you, go out and make today amazing, because it is absolutely a choice.
For more inspiration, visit us online at ericalatrice.com.